This is Charter Local Edition. I'm Brad Pomerance, joined by the chair of the Board of Supervisors in Los Angeles County, Mark Ridley-Thomas. It is a new board. There are 5 members. There are 4 women. You are a man.
Yes.
I mean, you know, I don't want to make too much of it, but it's notable. It's notable.
Well, it's historic.
It is historic.
It's the first time in the history of LA County that the majority of its members of the board are women.
Supermajority.
That would be correct.
Supermajority.
4 of 5.
Right.
And in terms of national trends and other bodies in the state of California, this is by far the exception. After all, there's 1 woman on the Los Angeles City Council.
Out of 15.
Out of 15 members.
Right.
When I was on the City Council in Los Angeles, there were several more women, from Jackie Goldberg
Right.
to Joy Pikus to Laura Chick
Right.
to Joan Milky Flores,
Right. Wendy
Rita
Gruhl wound
Walters,
up on the, right.
all those persons, Wendy Gruhl, Rita Walters, Jan Perry, you know.
So what do you make of this? I mean, look, each of you came to the board with a plethora of experience.
Correct.
I mean, Catherine Barger, Chief of Staff to Mike Antonovich,
Right.
Janice Hahn, City Council, Member of Congress, Hilda Solis, Secretary of Labor, Sheila Kuehl, Assembly, Senate. I mean, they were accomplished.
Yes, it's a grown-up job.
Right, yes it is.
And these are grown-ups. These are fully formed adults with a lot of experience.
But let me ask you, if I may, why does Hilda Solis want to leave Washington as the Secretary of Labor to become a supervisor? Why does Janice Hahn want to leave Washington as a member of the U.S. Congress, the pinnacle of a political career, one could argue, to be a member of the LA County Board of Supervisors?
Well, in part because of Janice Hahn's father's wisdom, namely that there are no jobs in political life, with the possible exception of U.S. Senate, that's comparable to being a member of the Los Angeles Board of Supervisors. It is anomalous. This is the largest county in the nation. The members of this board represent 2 million constituents each, which makes it the case that we represent more people than a good portion of U.S. senators and more than 19 governors each. And so it's counterintuitive that people would leave Congress to come to a local assignment, but this is the local assignment of local assignments,
And let's
as it were.
talk about one of the priorities of the board. It's clear it's a significant priority, a recent 5-0 vote to put on the March 2017 ballot a quarter-cent sales tax dedicated exclusively to fund homeless programs. This in the wake, of course, of the City of Los Angeles passing by an overwhelming margin HHH, dedicated to funding homeless services.
Well, the difference is of consequence.
Please.
The City of Los Angeles cannot fulfill its purpose unless the County of Los Angeles comes forth with the resources necessary. In other words, the city's measure was a bond that builds permanent supportive housing. The county's measure is designed to provide services, mental health services, substance abuse treatment services, recuperative care, psychiatric urgent intervention work, and a whole range of other things, rapid rehousing. This is fundamentally crucial in order for not only the City of Los Angeles, but the 87 other cities in the County of Los Angeles to have the resources and the infrastructure that is necessary in order to significantly tackle the question of homelessness.
Are you concerned, though, that given that the City of LA is 40% of the county, that the voters of the City of LA just passed HHH, which is a bond, but it is a tax, that the voters may feel a little fatigued and feel as if we already voted for homeless services?
We've tested that, and the voters have said we are so intensely concerned about the issue of homelessness. We want to do everything reasonable to make sure that we are tackling this problem with accountability, with the kind of results-oriented outcomes that would be necessary. This is the top-tier issue in poll after poll on the minds of voters in the county of Los Angeles.
And my gut tells me that one of the reasons that this issue is on the top of that tier is because this homeless crisis is different than homeless crises of the past. In the past, if you wanted to visit a homeless neighbor, you would need to go to Skid Row, whatever that meant.
Right.
You're my supervisor.
Right.
There are homeless people throughout our district.
That's right.
In the nicest areas, and in the not so nice areas. It causes people like you and me, I'll talk for me, simultaneous compassion but fear. This is these are daunting times.
Anger, shame,
all of it.
And so there are multifaceted motivations in play here. But when you add them all together, the people of this county want their leadership to do something about this crisis. And I'm pleased that my colleagues on the Board of Supervisors have made the determination unanimously that we will step forward and lead the charge to tackle homelessness in earnest.
In one area, we see a bright spot in the homeless crisis, and that area is with regard to the veterans homeless population.
Right.
Veterans homelessness is dropping in LA County from 4,400 in 2015 to about 3,000 in 2016. Still too much,
yes,
but that's a drop.
It is.
And so I ask you, sir, can we take the lessons we've learned from the veterans homeless population and apply those lessons to the general population?
We can and we must. And while there has been a dip in vets who are homeless, the fact of the matter is an uptick in women and families. And so as we speak, 47,000 homeless persons in the county of Los Angeles.
The uptick in women is particularly troubling.
Troubling.
Up 55%.
That's correct.
Since 2013.
Right.
Shelterless women up 2 times since 2013. Correct. And many of them have been attacked. They have been sexually assaulted.
It's just terrible. And they're there as victims of sexual assault, domestic violence in the first instance. In addition to them, those data, some of those women happen to be vets themselves. Right. We learned this from the Downtown Women's Center. And so this is a huge problem, and it will not abate unless there is significant intervention. It is our responsibility to do so.
I am confident that the 5 of you are focused on this.
Yes.
The challenge, though, is how do we get results today? Let's say this tax passes. It's going to take a while to get going.
These resources come into play rather quickly, and that's one of the beauties of it. It seems to me that it has to be understood that we will have to build the permanent supportive housing in the instance of the city of Los Angeles. With these resources, we can immediately start the task of fielding the teams of nurses, of social workers, outreach workers to address the homeless crisis in the encampment.
Please come back. I want to continue this conversation. His name is Mark Ridley-Thomas. He's the chair of the Board of Supervisors in Los Angeles County. I'm Brad Pomerance. Start our local edition.